first question for you before we even get started. Why are you in the Omaha?
Because I love this ship.
Okay. So, Omaha is one of those interesting boats in this game because she is, if you can kind of see it here, she is right at the precipice between light cruiser and heavy cruiser, right? From Omaha, you move on to the Pensacola or the Dallas. Hey, Valkyrie. And so you go from a boat that just shoots all the things and doesn't care and still, you know, dies pretty easily to a boat that suddenly it matters your aim, the shell type you use, the angle that your arm, you know, that you're angling, all that good stuff. That's all important. Dallas, kind of similar to the Omaha in that you don't care so much about your shell type and your aim, but you can still go splat relatively easily. I actually enjoy the Phoenix, I think, more than the Omaha, just tier for tier, you know? Thank you, Valkyrie. I will do so. And you're gonna make me stand up? You jerk. All right. So anyways, in this game,
so I submitted this replay because I don't want to give too much weight. This is going to be my damage record in the Omaha.
Congratulations.
Okay.
But I've heard a lot of talk about the Omaha being a bad ship, and I will not stand for this slander. So I'm putting this out there to show the haters.
Yeah, Valkyrie, you just won a code. Congratulations. Okay, so you want to set the record straight in the Omaha. That's fine. Historically, she's had 3 different hulls, although now Wargaming removed one of those, and I think actually they combined B and C together, if I remember right. But Omaha A hull.
They did not. They just completely removed C.
Okay. So Omaha A hull, if I remember right, doesn't have as many guns and stuff. B hull gets extra stuff, and then the C hull had extra anti-air. And if you are looking at the premium ships, the Marblehead is a B hull Omaha with a couple tweaks, and then the Murmansk, the Soviet cruiser, is the Omaha C hull with improved AP because Soviet. So you know, a lot of times you'll see those ships. You don't see too many Omahas out there these days, but you know, it is what it is. So let's talk about the build here. You've got main armaments mod 1, hydroacoustic search mod. Wow, you like the ship so much that you invested the coal module into it. Okay.
As a matter of fact, Omaha is my most played ship in the game by over 100 battles.
That's fair. Once upon a time, Marblehead was my most played, so I get you. And then you got aiming systems. Captain, it's a standard captain, last stand, priority targets, survivability expert, concealment expert, adrenaline rush, demo expert, and gun feeder. Okay. The AP on it is actually pretty decent if you are looking for it. I might recommend. Where are you going to go from here?
That's a very good question. I know you're probably going to recommend RPF, and that's probably not a bad idea. I would definitely not take IFHE on this ship. No way. No, that's just nerfing this ship.
Okay.
But so yeah, maybe RPF and I don't know, consumable reload.
Okay.
Well, the top grade gunner, I mean, the concealment on the ship isn't the best, and you know, top grade gunner just gives you, you know, more DPM, so that's also an option.
That's actually where I was going to suggest. But the problem is, I don't agree with gun feeder and demo expert, personal opinion here. I would go top grade gunner, and then let me drop these 2 for a second and take a look. I agree with you on IFHE. I think that's a waste in this boat. I also would say radiolocation is good or bad, and it really depends on what you are finding yourself, because you play a lot more tier 5 battles than I do right now. If you're finding a lot of seal clubbing kamikazes, kamikaze R's, Fujins, you know what I'm talking about, radiolocation is very helpful because of those bastards. If you're not,
yeah.
See what I'm saying? So it really depends. What you could do, actually, you're going to hate me for saying this, but what you could actually do, because you don't get the concealment module, drop concealment expert and go lighthouse. and just spam HE and
That's
not think.
an idea.
So these two synergize well with each other, right? And you've got priority targets, so you know if people are targeting you. And then the other thing is you might actually look at outnumbered here, because you're smart enough to know to go to a flank and not sit in the middle, be shot from everybody. So
Yeah.
you know, you go to a flank, you're faster, so that makes you harder to be hit at long range. Also helps you with your dispersion of your main battery. And then, you know, I might finish it with Grease the Gears, for example. Now, I don't know how you're playing the boat right now, but like for me, I play this typically as a longer range kite away cruiser, unless, you know.
The way I typically play it is spin to win. I don't wait for my guns to reload. I turn the ship and get already reloaded guns to bear.
Yeah. So Grease the Gears might really help you in that case. So, I don't know. Maybe try this and see. We'll look at your replay and see how it plays out, which is fine too. Maybe give this a try. And then for your flags, whoa, you went all in on flags. HP, fire reduction, fire chance, speed, consumables, anti-air, and then finally hydro. You went all in on the hydro too. Wow. Spin and win is harder to make you, is harder to hit too. That's why I thought outnumbered comes in really handy, because, you know, it says, as you can see, the number of allies within your ship's main battery firing range does not exceed the number of visible enemy ships. So if you can be, if you're spotted from farther away, more visible enemy ships, I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, the people are absolutely right. Omaha is absolutely fragile. The trick in playing Omaha well is to not get hit in it.
Oh, absolutely.
So regarding this game, I don't want to give too much away, but there are bots in this game. There are quite a few bots in this game, and the battle does not unfold necessarily in my team's advantage.
Okay.
And as a final thing, I know, Zath, you will like this. I can confirm that this will not be a day where there are no death picks.
Woo! All right, let's go, death pick. So, in 5, tier 5, you see straight 5 like you've got. You see 5, 6. Sometimes you see, I think, 5, 6, 7. Or you can see 4, 5. In games like this, where there's a lot of bots, you can kind of turn your brain off in some cases. Especially in this case, there's a lot of cruisers and destroyers, not much to worry about battleship wise. So that's great for you. If you're in a tier 4 game, that's great for you too. My thinking is more just to set you up for possible success, or at least survival, better survival, if you get into a tier 7 game. That's all.
Yeah.
Whenever you see a good...
While the battle is still young, one thing that I do want to say that I think a lot of people don't understand about the Omaha is that it is not like other American cruisers. I'm talking about the higher tier ones. It is not an island camper. It is an open water ship.
Correct.
Because you need to be moving, you need to be turning. You can't be stationary next to an island. And that makes it very different to play from its successors, Pensacola and
Absolutely.
Dallas.
Yep, with this ship, you learn the cruiser wiggle.
Yep.
Avoid boxing lessons. There you go.
Enemy force sighted on the horizon.
So we were talking about a moment ago, you not sitting in the middle of the map, and you spawned in middle and stayed in middle. I probably would have suggested going to one of the flanks. Doesn't matter which one, but you know. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. So, good top tip in games like this where there are bots and players. Typically, you want to focus the players because they're the more dangerous threats, usually.
Absolutely. Now, you've got AP in the barrels on this emerald.
Yeah, well, the reason I'm using AP is because it's an emerald. Like the Omaha, it's not exactly known for being sturdy. But I'm not getting what I want.
Well, yeah, because he's at a decentish angle to you.
I am kind of hyper-focusing on him, although now I'm starting to kind of look around. Those ships coming through the middle, they're mostly bots. But they're going to make their presence known to me soon.
Well, so the problem with you focusing on this guy instead of the bots in the middle of the map is that your bots are YOLOing their bots, and that Omaha is probably going to get torps off on both the Agano and Mastacholi. And I'd be very concerned about that.
Right.
And again,
So,
bow on
yep.
ship, so HE would have been better there. So there's, yeah, there goes the Agano.
Oh, for some reason, I'm actually surprised I'm still on AP here. That must have been an oversight on my part.
Yeah, I mean, to be quite honest, I don't think I would be shooting AP in this ship until, like, you know you've got a good broadside. Like, you're just... Like, even here against the Argentina, I don't know that you're going to get the pens that you want. And with you sailing south here, you're closing the angle as opposed to opening it.
That's a good point. That's something that I often forget is about closing and opening angles like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, the Congo just made its presence very well known to me.
I mean, it's a Congo. It's got the accuracy, and it's a bot, so, you know, that's a thing. And that's true, Daleth. I do that sometimes too.
But as they say, over the course of this battle, we're going to find out, and I took that personally.
Okay.
So yeah, basically I'm kind of noticing here, I'm the only ship on this flank. I mean, there's what, the T-22, but otherwise, I pretty much have the La Argentina and the New York to myself, and the New York is a player.
So
but I don't have angles on him, so no, go ahead. What were you about to say?
yeah, I mean, I'd be worried about New York, but if I'm looking at a bot Congo versus a player New York, I'd be more concerned about the bot Congo, actually. Because the bot Congo actually knows how to aim, and the aim is rewarded. On the New York, even if you know how to aim, dispersion says F you, because the New York is like this massive shotgun. So I'd be more concerned about the Congo.
I do think, though, that I have like 2 permafires on him at this point. Or, actually, no, I had 3 on him at that point.
Yep.
So I was basically just letting him cook and trying to do the New York. That's another thing in Omaha is, and well, a lot of HE spamming ships is you have to cycle between the ships you're shooting at because, you know, you can only set so many fires.
This is true. So, yep, now that the T-22 is dead, New York is absolutely going to focus on you now.
Yep.
And you're turning broadside to him and the Furutaka, which is also a player. Okay.
I am, however, going to be getting behind this island, so the New York, at the very least, isn't going to have any shots on me.
True.
But the Congo is. And you can see that I'm kind of starting to head a bit towards that island on like I-5. Just meandering in that general direction. My idea here is basically to use that to shield me from detection and just shoot over.
Okay.
It's funny you say that. Bots have laser-guided missiles. It seems like they have 2 modes. Either they're laser-guided missiles, or they could not hit the broadside of a barn from the inside. There's no in-between.
Celebes gets a really important kill. Because now it's you and the Iron... It's the Congo and the Iron Duke you have to look at. If you just got to fire on the Congo, I'd probably look at the Iron Duke now.
Yeah, I should. In hindsight.
Well, Congo just DCP too, so you can keep shooting Congo, that's fine. Yeah, they miss most of the time until that one time that they don't.
Yeah, and in the Omaha, it just takes 1.
It really does.
Oh, yep. Another thing
Okay.
about the Omaha is that its torpedoes are very niche use because of their range. But
5.5.
he is kind of yep, he is kind of closey did. So this is one of the use cases for its torpedoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people I think get caught off guard because it and Phoenix are two of the few American cruisers that get torpedoes.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, there's your arsonist.
Battleship destroyed.
Yep. And now it's time to do
Farm.
the same thing and cook the Iron Duke.
I'd be slowing down. You're moving full speed here. I'd be concerned about that Jaguar in the corner getting too close to your gun bloom.
I'm actually in full. Well, unless your mod is
Oh,
wrong.
you're full
It
reverse
looks
now. I
like
see it.
Yeah, I'm
You
full
move.
reverse.
Yeah. You move forward for a bit, and now you change to reverse. Furutaka decided to go back to the cap.
Yeah. I mean, we've actually been in their cap for quite a while. They've also been in
Mm-hmm.
our cap for quite a while. Okay, so the Iron Duke briefly goes unspotted here. I popped my spotter plane to reacquire.
Yeah, it's a fighter, but yeah, I mean that's what you do. Sure.
Right, yeah,
Good.
fighter. But note that I did wait a few moments to do so, and I was just waiting to see if he got respotted by another teammate.
Okay. With how low he was, I might have just popped it earlier just to try to get this guy killed, but sure. Oh, another fire. That should do him. So now you gotta be thinking about what's next. Witherer.
This is only the 7th Witherer I've ever gotten.
Battleship.
Nice. So now you gotta deal with the fact that all 3 enemy players are humans, and you have 1 human and 1 bot, and the 1 human is a Celebes. Eek.
Yep, in the middle of the enemy cap with a battleship and a cruiser right next to him.
Yeah. I'm
As
concerned
I said,
because
this battle does not develop quite to my team's advantage.
no, you know, and you've got what you're trying to do is you're trying to farm the New York when he pushes, but you didn't do that, so now you're forced to go back and chase him, essentially.
Yep.
And there
my
goes the
last
Celebes.
human teammate has died.
Yep. All right, 3 on
Why are
1.
you calling him a human teammate instead of a non-helper?
All right, let's say this: not a computer teammate.
Rather have a computer teammate half the time.
Mm-hmm. All right, so our team depends upon you, sir.
Yes, it does. I am a half-health Omaha against 3 relatively healthy ships.
And the other big part of the problem is you're down on points, I think. Because it looked like
Yes.
when your teammate died, you got points, which obviously is the bug, so. 3 fingers and a pinch of water. Perfect.
I mean, you just rammed a destroyer, citadel the cruiser, and torp the battleship.
That's right, and win.
However, Zath knows that there is a death pick in this battle, so...
Well, there were several.
There's a shout out from Michael, by the way. I forgot to shout him out earlier.
I was busy eating.
But yes, it's basically right now once more unto the breach.
Okay. Yeah, you're welcome. Sorry, I just
And
completely
so-
forgot because it's been a while.
And so there's for Taka shells.
Yep. Here's where a plane might be helpful because you might spot the New York. You got a decent hit on you with an AP there. And Furtaka's got the 203s now at tier 5, so that's scary.
Yes, because that overmatches me.
Mm-hmm.
And
good,
the
a Jaguar.
Yep.
Well, this is your food. That's good. Something for you to do while you wait for the New York to show up. Oh, New York showed up. Kind of painted yourself into a corner with this island here. Ooh.
A little bit, yeah.
If you're patient enough, the boat might reappear.
Ah, the bogue. The bogue. If it's an AS bogue, of course. Well, Jaguar kept him spotted, but Jaguar was also expecting the easy win, so he's just going in for the damage.
Yeah.
And you got him on fire, so I'd focus something else.
I do that parting salvo, and then... So my thought here is basically, okay, let's try and get New York on a fire. Although apparently I shoot first at the Furtok. Let's get the New York on fire. Let's see if he... And there goes the chopper.
Yeah, New York also fired HE, by the way.
And see if we can bait out his DCP, and then, well, cook him if we do. And if we don't, well, then we cook him.
Continuing to fire HE.
One thing I don't think a lot of people realize is Omaha is a fantastic fire starter.
Yep.
In fact, it is, aside from the Marblehead, it is the best fire starter under Tier 8.
And that's why I love the Marblehead so much. Confederates!
Yeah. Also a rare thing. I mean, I don't have Halsey, but that would have been an interesting...
Just thinking that. And yes, Omaha did bounce a shell. Pretty fun. Okay, so there's the sticky fire.
Omaha bounced? Crazy.
Oh crap, you found the border. Well, that's unfortunate for you.
Well, you could just bounce right off it.
Yeah, but the problem is he's got this Furutaka here that's been shooting AP at him the whole time.
Yeah, and I'm not a person who's going to hub the border, even if it is the tactically sound option, so...
Oh, he switched to
risky
HE.
move there.
Yeah, but he shot HE, so you got lucky there.
The one time he needed AP and he's switching to HE.
Hydro now would be good.
Right, for talking torpedoes.
Yeah. And there you go again, trying a little bit too hard with the AP. You switch back to HE now.
And there goes the New York.
Hey, Cremoa. Yeah, he burned out. That's
But he's
good for
still got
you.
a pretty decent health advantage on me, so...
So, I paused it right here. Nah, that's the other side of you. Okay, I might have... It's a turret break. I might have DCP'd it in case it was a turret that you're facing.
Problem solved, sir.
Wow. Okay. Well, I think I'm able to grab the death pick. Let's see. I'm going to grab an early one just to be safe. 65 months, Cremoa. Thank you so much for the sub, dude. I'll read out the message in a moment, but trying to focus on getting my death picks here. But because you got the kill on him just before he killed you, you win and he loses.
I was not expecting to clutch that one out. I'm going to be honest. I was not expecting that.
This feels
exactly like I said.
This feels so much like the "This is how legends are made" video. But this is perfect for 4th of July. Look, there's the American flag there. We got the fireworks, right? Omaha in its natural environment, exploding into splinters. Yes.
And I would also like to point out that I took Survivability Expert. I took Charlie Kilo. I got the whole ship. I used the whole ship. If I had if I had lacked either of those, this would have been a loss.
Wow. All right, well, let's take a look at your post-battle results. You got 6 kills, 183,000 damage in a tier 5. Jeez. Arsonists, Confederates, Kraken Unleashed, Witherer. High caliber, I'm guessing you got some efficiency-related badge.
I got an E on this one. Yep.
I'm sure you did. Look at this. Look at this. You did almost twice as good as second place. Hey, Valiant. Yeah, but I mean it's tier 5, right? So like I can see using SE, but using the flag, unless you got tons of
I
them.
basically put the flags on here on a lark because usually I don't use flags under tier 8. So
Yeah.
it was kind of just by coincidence that I have to throw it on for this game.
And try to grab a screenshot of like that. Because you set 28 fires for 80,000 fire damage. I think I want to put that if this goes to YouTube on the
Yeah.
cover pic there, right? Like, geez. So, going back to the build we were talking about, right? Let me pop this back up here. Going back to the build we were talking about. I do feel like in this situation, outnumbered would have really helped, right? You got the extra speed that helps you do the dodgy, and you're also a little bit more accurate with the shells that you do fire. You do also get the extra 8% main battery reload time, which would have come in very handy. And heavy HE cells might have helped too, but I feel like you were shooting more AP and trying to make AP happen more than it needed to in this one.
Yeah, I think part of it, at least at the end there, is I thought the Furutaka was going to go broadside. That's why I loaded it, but then he didn't, so I'm like, okay, back to HE.
I like that you swap back to HE quicker. You didn't do that at the beginning of the game, so that's important. Let's put the build viewer off, and let's put the replay render on, and chat. What do you guys want to do for a title for this? And Electric, thank you for your Twitch Prime sub. That actually starts us off. Did we just start? Yeah, we're on a hype train. Oh, goodness. Guys, if you don't know, the way hype trains work on this channel or in Twitch in general is if you want to use your sub, if you haven't subbed, you can, or you can use Twitch Prime sub, you can cheer bits, you can gift subs. I think still have that discount available for 35% off on gifted subs. I think I still have that going. And those are all ways to help. If we get to a level 7 hype train, then we do celebrate with special dirty water, which we started earlier, but we'll have more special dirty water, and I'll yeet out a code or two as a way to celebrate as well. Give out water guns to a 12-year-old dirty water. Exactamundo. Perfect. Thank you, fact checks.
Explodes last is one of the suggestions. What I was thinking is something like using the whole ship, because I really squeezed everything I could out of this ship.
Okay.
And I'll admit, when the victory thing popped up, I literally yelled out loud, "Yes!" And I think I woke my fiance up.
Uh-oh. So you said using what again?
Using the whole ship.
Whole ship. Okay. I wonder if there's a way we can shorten that a little bit. To think about that.
Yeah, that is true, Pockington. I didn't use my hydros nearly as much in this, but really the only situation where I think the hydro would have been useful was at the end there with the Furutaka. Maybe with the Jaguar a little bit earlier, but Jaguar's torpedoes, what's their range?
Oh, I don't remember off the top of my head.
I don't think they're particularly long ranged, so
Yeah.
I don't think he ever got close enough to me for it to be a torpedo threat.
No, the big thing was when you charged the Furutaka, but the torpedoes wouldn't have gotten to you anyways. It wouldn't have mattered, but using the whole ship. Max HP. I'm just trying to think of something shorter that I could put up there. His fiance got some. Oh, oh, I don't know about that one, Super Chimpy. That might be dangerous.
That might get him demonetized.
Hmm.
I know I had a lot of good games this patch cycle, but this one was definitely the best out of all the games I've had.
You know, I want to go back to your comment earlier about how you play it as spin to win. That would be a really good title for it.
Yeah, that would be too, because I really think that's the way the Omaha needs to be played.
Yeah. So maybe we do spin to win. Unless you think of something else you'd rather do.
No, I think that's good.
Okay. All right, well, perfect timing. There's the render done. So Mknote, thanks for using use channel points for this one, so that we could take a look at it.
Of course. I'm going to stick around and chat just in case we do div stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.